Ambassador Frans Maken from the Embassy of the Kingdom of the Netherlands in Nairobi.
Your Lordship, Chief Justice David Maraga, PS Trade Dr. Chris Kiptoo, Regional Manager IDLO Edith, and Honorable Judges, representatives of the corporate sector in Kenya, and indeed also from my side, all protocol observed, because you are many, and I'd like to keep it manageable. I'm delighted to be standing in front of you to this important occasion of launching the Commercial Justice Project and witness the successes that already can be noted to date. We want to congratulate the judiciary on the courageous path they have taken in transforming the various spheres of the judiciary, making it more modern and making it more effective. And the Dutch government is very proud to be associated with Kenya, but also in particular with this whole endeavor to increase access to justice and to improve the quality of justice offered to all the consumers of court services. The Embassy has already supported a number of services at different parts of the judiciary, notably the access of the vulnerable and the marginalized, like women and human rights defenders. But increasingly important is the commercial court, in the sense that the category of business community as consumers of justice services is growing day by day. And we therefore consider ourselves as a friend of the judiciary, and obviously we hope that this is mutual. I'd like to thank Your Lordship, Chief Justice, for your leadership and also your management team. I understand from IDLO that your commitment to this change process has been very key. And indeed, in any change process, if there is support from the top, it will work. If not, it will be very difficult to work. So thank you very much for your contributions ever since the project kicked off last year. The project will be has a duration of 2.5 years. It will cost some 2.6 million euros, which is equivalent to 300 million shilling. And its objective is simple, clear, but not easy: an improved business and investment confidence in the judicial system of Kenya. There are some key deliverables that will come back later this morning when we are seeing how the improvements have been to date, but they are: the commercial and tax division of the High Court needs to be fully automated. The alternative dispute resolution mechanism, the ADR, needs to be strengthened and operationalized. It's enhancing the capacity of judges and magistrates in the commercial division, and an increased and sustained engagement between the judiciary and the private sector through established structures, clear and transparent structures. So as I said, we will hear shortly what the progress has been on these various issues. I also would like to acknowledge the contribution of stakeholders in the run-up to this project. In the first place, there's the Dutch business community. We have our engagements, regular engagements with the Dutch business community, so we also hear sometimes of their problems, of delays and frustrations. And in this case, I see representative of Heineken. There have been occasions where we had to go through a steep learning curve to see what the do's and don'ts are in order to stay out of trouble. So also Heineken has been part of that learning process, and I think it's important that all these experience also of other companies and their brushes with the judiciary, that we had lucid options represented by Colin Sodote and Bosir Nyamori to indeed do a needs assessment and see what is actually needed to turn this into something very practical in order to improve the effectiveness of the commercial courts. And then obviously we had IDLO to make this, to turn this into a project that is very practical, actionable in a way that we could go ahead and that it had support not only of the Chief Justice but also of all the ones who needed to work with this renewed system. Why is it so important? I don't think it's only partly a hypothetical example that if one investor comes here and has plans to invest 100 million in a factory and create jobs, if that investor is confronted with an injunction and has to delay, then a delayed or even an abandoned investment has a huge impact on the Kenyan economy. And therefore, when it comes to the Big Four and the implementation, and the 1 million youngsters that come to the market every year, you have to talk about jobs, 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 and again jobs. If that is thwarted by some procedures that take too long, it is a disincentive to investment. It is very bad for business in Kenya, but also for Kenya's development. So the need for resolution, quick resolution of commercial disputes is key. It's very important to conduct business and to get confidence in the system. With World Bank and IFC, Trademark East Africa, we work on projects that basically improve the indicators that World Bank uses to rank countries when it comes to doing justice. Doing business. That's a Freudian. Doing business. So in that sense, Kenya has made a nice jump of, I think, 23 places in the ranking, but still it can do a lot better. And it's just so that the project we are now working on within the judiciary, when it comes to the commercial courts, if we pull that off, and I'm sorry I'm saying we, I have to say you, but you do pull it off, then I think in next year's ranking will be very much more positive than this year's again. Because when it comes to dispute resolution in a country, World Bank looks at three things. It's the cost, and it's the quality, and it's the time, the duration. Now, if these three can be improved, then three indicators, very important ones, can push Kenya up on the ladder of doing business, and that looks good also for any company that wishes to come into, wants to start business in Kenya. Why is it so much to us as the Netherlands? You may know, you may not know, but the Netherlands is the second most important export destination of Kenyan exports. So that means that we have a relationship that is quite unique, because the Netherlands is the only country in the world with which Kenya has an export surplus, which obviously is good for you and not so good for us, but that's okay. Also here in Kenya, we have about 120 to 130 Dutch companies. We had a survey among them, and 80% says that it plans on expanding business in Kenya. That is also not to be neglected. And this is just the Netherlands. We are a small country, bigger in some senses, but we are a small country. So this is about the investment climate for all foreign direct investment. So in that sense, it is an important project in many ways. I think I should also not forget to thank the presiding judge, the former one, I must say, presiding judge of the Commercial Division, Justice Fred Ocheng, for his leadership that is always paired with a sense of humor. And a sense of humor that is paired with leadership. Sometimes I don't know which one comes first. But I do know that the effect is very, very positive. And I also welcome very much successor Justice Mary Kasango, of whom I hope that we will work very intensively together. Where are you, Justice? Oh, there. Sorry. I know that you worked in a commercial division before, and that when diving into the cases, you even recognize some of your own handwriting. So much about backlogs. So in that sense, I think also this project is extremely welcome, and we wish you every success in the pursuance of this one. So with these words, I would like to thank you all for your cooperation and for inviting me to be at the launch of this very important project. Thank you very much.